Good morning. Welcome to Lake Superior Interfaith Community Church. Whether you're with us in person today, which is October 23rd, 2022, or joining us online at another time, our heartfelt wish is that from this service, you will receive support for your personal spiritual journey. And I need to find my order of service and invite you to stand for our invocation. We invite and welcome God, who is immanent within each of us. We invite and welcome God, who is transcendent in, through, and with all that is. We invite and welcome the loving presence that is always with everything and everyone as we join together in this service and afterward as we go out into our daily lives in the world. Blessed be and amen. I am Carol LSICC, one of our former presidents. Our speaker today is Lisa Cerri, and our musician is Carol Carey, who is our current president, and Lisa is our vice president. I'm going to read our statement of intent. I did not flip through everything here, so I can't see what I'm doing. You may be seated if you like. Thank you. We are fortunate to have a variety of speakers for our Sunday services. By using guest speakers, we gain wisdom from all those who share. This is a church where we can worship the God of our own understanding, a place to experience joy and be uplifted, a place where we can gain strength and inspiration to share with all we meet throughout the week. We invite you to join us in this celebration of life, to nourish your spirit, and to enjoy the company of kindred souls. Sorry, I don't have the paperwork. I'm used to working from here, and when you're looking at a different form than the one you're used to, everything changes. So we can have our general greetings and hugs. If you like to be hugged or a handshake or whatever, if you would rather not, please stay seated in the pew. Always going to be warmer than what you set it for, by several degrees.
Yeah, it's the opposite. It says that it's 70 in here,
Yeah.
and it's set at 64.
That's what I'm saying. It's always warmer here than what that said.
Oh, gotcha. So I just kicked it down.
We're all greeted and welcome and connected. And now we will sing our opening hymn, which is Let There Be Peace. It's on the white card in front of you in the pew. I did that too soon. Our first hymn,
122.
122.
Love is the answer.
Do we want to stand for that, shall we?
F and C.
Carol, I gave you the wrong number.
What?
That's not the right number.
122.
Is it? I'm in the wrong page. What?
I bet I'm not the only one.
Good thing I haven't done this for a while, huh? Wow. Looking at the wrong page. And now we have announcements. Sue, did you want to do announcements today?
I am sure that Jasmine has some announcements she also wants to make known. But just remember to put your phones on mute or silent or do not disturb while you're here today. Thank you. Suggestion box, we have it in the back. We did get a suggestion and we are grateful. So please keep giving those suggestions to us. You can also email us at interfaith on 9th Street, the number 9th Street @gmail.com. You can also call us, contact us by a phone. You can leave a voicemail or contact a board member. Next week is our annual meeting, and Phyllis McCoy will be speaking. So please join us for both very, very important events next week. Also, our book sale is on Saturday, and I'm sure Jasmine will get more into that. So please make sure that you help us out with as best as you can. And let's see. If you miss a service or would like to rewatch a service, don't forget to check us out on YouTube. Consider joining our group today downstairs after lunch. Is it potluck today? No, it's just a nice little snacks and treats and coffee today. So make sure that you come in and join us with that. Don't forget also, we do have our Intentions Bowl. Our Intentions Bowl is on the organ right now, and it is filled with names of people who need prayers and healing. And if you have anyone who you want to put their name in that bowl, either physically or emotionally or mentally, you may do so at this time. And does anyone have any requests for healing or prayers? Oh, Lisa.
Bonnie Walden, who's been a longtime member of our church but has not been here for some number of years. Carolyn Brooks had let me know that she's in Crestview. Viewcrest, not Crestview, Viewcrest. And she's looking for our prayers and would love to be visited and is not doing well physically. She's lost a lot of her physical form and maybe making some transitions in the near future. So just send her love and connection. And this seems really loud to me, like it's a little echoey. Okay, good. There you go. There's a word for Bonnie.
Anyone else? Carolyn?
She's moved several places since she was here, but she was in an accident. Some of us assumed it was an auto accident. It wasn't. It was part of a ceremony, and the choir ceremony Blair, rose up, and she's got second, third degree burns over a third of her body. I talked to her for probably an hour and a half yesterday. She's doing really well. She didn't want to concentrate
she would love to have our prayers. She left Madison and she's back out in Southern California right now. And she's not going to have a lot of scarring, but she had many skin graft surgeries, some of her own and some donor skin. And so she's got a long process of healing ahead of her. So please keep her in your prayers and contact her on Facebook if you're so inclined, or give her a call. She's happy to receive intentions and healing wishes from any of us.
Darlene?
Many of you know that Lisa and I went out with my son in Honolulu, and he needs lots and lots and lots of prayers. He has moved from atheist into very God-fearing, so I think that brings him a lot of comfort. His mind is 90% sharp and intact, but his body is really, really failing him. So it was good timing, and I'm grateful for Lisa for making all the arrangements so that we were able to do this, because I have wondered how long he was going to be with us for many years. And this was an important thing for both of us. So we were able to plan. He's very loving, he's very kind, he's very sweet. But wow, just seeing it was shattering to see the condition of his body. And so healing for him internally and for what is in his best interest. He is able to live in a truck now, which gets really hot in Honolulu. The guy who owns a car place is letting him stay there. So he's not on the streets, but he still needs to be out, and he is on the streets. And people are kind to him there, which is comforting as his mom to see that. But he does need a lot of support. So thank you. What's his name? Nicholas.
Any other prayer intentions or requests? With that, I'm going to call on Jasmine. Jasmine, are you ready for some announcements?
I think that you will be as relieved as I am to know that most of these you will not need to hear again for a year. Okay, starting with a book sale. Books are coming in today at about 12:30. I will ask that we wrap up lunch so that we can stay for a little while and start sorting the books. Denise just let me know that 2 big loads have come in while we were up here, so there will be work to do. We will also be here Tuesday evening, starting at 5 or a little earlier. So I had not realized or not remembered, because I don't attend, that the Unity Book Group is meeting that evening. However, those of you who come for the group, if you could come an hour or so earlier and get in some work, that would be awesome. So today we will be sorting and arranging. Tuesday evening from 5 until 7:30ish. We'll be sorting and arranging. Sales open to the public next Saturday from 9 until 1. And then, of course, on Sunday while we are here before and after the meeting. And then books will also be here a second week when we just encourage people to take bagfuls and throw us a little money on the way out so that the books can go on to a new life. Annual meeting and elections. Quick reminder, if you have not renewed your membership, bylaws require that we renew our membership, each of us, once a year. There are forms on the little table in the entryway for you to fill out. And the only other requirement is that you make a donation in any amount that works for you. In the annual meeting, there will be some reports of what we have been doing for this last year and how we are doing as an entity. We will keep those as brief and informative as possible. We also do elections for the Board of Trustees. Right now, we do still have one opening for the new board. If you feel moved to serve, that would be absolutely awesome. It's a once-a-month meeting. So I will not lie to you, there is some work involved. And in and around that once-a-month meeting. So, but of course, it is an amazing way to serve our community. Oh, and then we'll talk more about this next week. The board has suggested 2 bylaws changes, but we will not be dealing with them until the first service in December, because we are required to give a certain amount of time notice for people to consider those changes. Carol, have I missed anything? Sue, have I missed anything? Anybody, have I missed anything? Lisa, have I missed anything? Okay, I think that's all the information that I need to throw at you right now. So again, if you can stay for a little while after lunch to help with the load of books that has come in, that would be lovely. Thank you.
Just reminding you, the newer study group is meeting today at 12:30 up here in the meditation room. So please join us. It's our second meeting.
Sue, did you want to make an announcement about the Unity Book Group?
It's Tuesday night, usually it's at 6, but Albert had surgery and had his gallbladder removed. And he was not able to attend last Tuesday, which he had just
We're,
gotten out of hospital. So Rick Yeomans is trauma trained to take it over while Paul is recovering. And I'm not sure who's going to be running it. If Paul's well enough to come that feels like doing it, or if it's going to be Rick. If it's Rick, it won't start until about 6:10.
so people can still come at 6 and it might start a few minutes late. Okay, in case you didn't hear that, the Unity Book Group will be meeting Tuesday. There is some shift in leadership because the usual leader is recovering from some surgery. So they may be starting a few minutes late, but by all means be welcome to come at 6, or if you so like, come at 5 and help with the book sale a little bit. And they will be starting by 6 or shortly after for the book group. Okay. And I'm going to throw in my 2 bits here on Jasmine's announcement. I am finding in my personal life with all of those chores on my to-do project list, this goes back to what she was saying, our rewards, our fulfillment come from doing and giving. I think it was one of my tea bag things that are always, not always, I often find wisdom and insight in them. If you want to know how much love you're giving, see how much joy, how much fun you are having. And there's also about working, participating, doing, joining is where the love and the fulfillment are. So after many years serving the board and doing a lot of other things here, I know, yes, there's work, but that's the good part. That's where the gifts come. So please don't let that scare you away. If you feel inclined to serve on our board, join with our leaders, our ministerial leadership, and help with the ongoing well-being of this church. Thank you for thinking about it. Thank you for those who have served and who are going to. And now, oh, Carol, I'm sorry.
Our Marquee Mark isn't here this afternoon as he is at a celebration of life, celebration at an ESCO. So, and I do have to leave for work and not till about 12:30 or 1. But if there's dishes to do down there, empty the coffee pot, etc., feel free to. I will be stopping by tonight after work to see that everything is all put away. Ooh, thank you. That's my calling.
Okay, I'm going to read our principles. We have been using the Unity basic principles for some time because we are now an evolving Unity church. What that means is that we are in the process of becoming formally a Unity church. It can take several years to do as we grow into this, and you are welcome to join and support the process. So, the principles. God is the source and creator of all. There is no other enduring power. God is good and present everywhere. We are spiritual beings created in God's image. The Spirit of God lives within each person. Therefore, all people are inherently good. We create our life experiences through our way of thinking. There is power in affirmative prayer, which we believe increases our awareness of God. Knowledge of these principles is not enough. We must live them. And now, Lisa Cerri will lead our meditation and present her talk.
We're going to keep the meditation simple and something that we all know. So let your feet drop into the earth and maybe straighten your spine just a bit. Open the crown of your head. And we're going to Om together for a couple of minutes. And it's not really an instruction as much as a bit of guidance, just to say that as you are preparing to Om, I'd like you to be aware of your connection to the earth. And I want you to feel as though the crown of your head is open and that you are breathing from above and below and out through your heart as you Om. And we're not going to do it in any sequence. I'm going to begin to Om, and everybody's just going to take in a natural breath and allow themselves to Om through the exhalation of that breath and begin to Om again, and just allow that to continue. Not a beginning and a middle and an end, just a beginning and a movement and a movement and a connection. And just stay in that awareness of our sharing our vibration, your breath connecting your being to your heart and to the sound and to the way that we are anchored by the earth and connected to the universe in its entirety. So, with that, we take a breath. Take that breath, bring that breath in. Gather up from the earth, keep oming, keep oming. Draw the vibration up from the earth. Intended to inform your vibration, draw it up from the earth. Continue to breathe, breathe through the crown from the universe into the heart and out through the breath with the Om. Continue to be aware of your breath and your connection to the earth, connection to the stars, your spirit guides, your higher self. Call upon the Elohim, Mother Mary, Kuan Yin, the Sacred Heart of Christ. Call upon your own rock, your own anchor, your own aspect of self that provides you a sense of solidity and peace and stillness within your body, within your being, within your heart, and allow that to gently resonate within you into the densities of your flesh-filled form. And retain this awareness and this proximity to the wholeness of your being and your presence with each other. And gently open your eyes and return to this space in this moment. When at last there is nothing left to lose, you are ready. When at last there is nothing left to lose, you are ready. So for the moment, because we're all here at this church and we all have some history with this church and the board members are here, the leadership of this body of people at this church. When at last there is nothing left to lose, you are ready. For only then, in the sacred space of humility, are you able to recognize and to embrace what has never been lost. That precious spark awaits you. It has given you clues to its whereabouts all along the way, a little glimmer now and then, just to keep you on track. But for some, it's only when you're absolutely convinced that you are hopelessly lost, when you simply don't know where to turn, that you turn within. And this is so true. We all see this in our own lives, whether it comes by illness or accident or birth or some shock to the system of our human existence, our economy, our environment. Where are we when we are not present? I'm sure for me, at least 50 to 60% of the time, I'm just out living my life in some measure of oblivion. That's why we establish routines. That's why we used to have a 40-hour work week. That's why we used to punch a clock. That's why we have institutions. That's why we go to school for a third of our life in pursuit of higher education, but not necessarily higher awareness or consciousness. Those are decisions we have to make internally. Determinations we have to make for ourselves, because there's enough float, sometimes churn, in the world that you can get away with doing virtually nothing to expand your awareness or your consciousness and get by. Go to any storefront or bank, and maybe less so now in this last couple of years, because the whole world took a major shock when the pandemic came about. All of us, humanity in its entirety, came into a different awareness than what we ordinarily might find ourselves in. When I first came to this church 20, 25 years ago, I had had some really consciousness awakening experiences back in Arizona, and I was looking for people who I could continue to share that exploration with, and it was recommended to me that I check out this church and a couple of other places in town, and I did, and wow, like every single person I met seemed on the continuum of exploration to be in the same place. They knew where they had been. They had some notion they didn't want to continue in the churn. They didn't want to just be in the repetition. They were looking for something. They found it in many different forms, many of them healing modalities, some of them meditation practices, some of them physical things, some of them mental exercises, some of them emotional catharsis, all of them ultimately pointing to some form of spiritual awakening, expansion, connection. And wow, to be able to do that with each other instead of, like, I can't make it to the Himalayan mountains and just hang out in some ascetic space and chant all day and live on prana. I don't have that skill set. So I have endeavored to explore this with every single person who's in here and many people who are not. My personal confession to you right now is that some place inside of me is seriously scrambled. And I think it's the last vestige of what's connected to the churn. My kitchen is not just a mess, it's abominable. I wouldn't allow tenants to live in a house that I owned in the condition that that space is in. And I'm having a fun time doing my laundry and functioning, and like my mental and my emotional and my physical. I mean, like my body is just like keeps on trying to find something to satisfy itself, and it's not managing to do so. It just continues in this like churn of consumption. It's mindless. And I know how to drop in. I've facilitated other people collectively to do just that, to meditate, to find a still space, to find a sound, to find something that's authentic and real. And I just lose track. Every day I lose track. And sometimes I attribute the responsibility of that losing track to what's happening in the world. I'm caught up in the chaos. I'm going to find a way to be able to, like the same way when I was a kid, I would pull apart my dad's transistor radio, determined to find the means by which those human voices were coming out of this little box. It's that, but on like a world scale. I'm trying to figure out how the world is creating what it's creating that's having this impact on me. And maybe I could even say, like, what's inside of a little transistor radio or things that are making transitions. We're all making a transition. We're all making a transition. In some respects, in many layers and levels, this is no newsflash to us in this room, particularly, and to many outside of it. I believe that we have all been in a great state of exploration and practice for way longer than I've been here, and many of you greater measures of your own respective lives. I remember I was here when 2000 rolled around. Remember Y2K? Boy, does that seem like ancient history now. And for sure, I bought into the narrative that there was a possibility that time was going to stop, the computers were going to collapse. And it wasn't because I was into the doom and gloom. I believe that it was important that people not be in a state of denial of having the conversation. But inside of my heart, the most important thing was the potential of creating community. Like, not to be in a place where we didn't have the conversation because, oh, that's just rubbish. It's like, well, now then we had 9/11, right? Another major global boom. And then we have the news telling us all the time about what's happening, and we have our own personal lives. And then we have the pandemic, and we have this wide open, the doors are flung wide open. I told Darlene this morning I wanted to put 2 chairs here this morning, and I wanted to be in a state of radical discombobulation and just let myself run off at the mouth, not only with my own personal catastrophes or the ways that things are so disrupted, but to give you like just a quick synopsis of everything that's blown up and screwed up in this world. And then come over here and drop into my feet and drop into my body and open up my crown and be in a still space and breathe and or just breathe, just be in a state of peace, just resonate from that space, just be witnessed in that resonance. Feel that resonance, engage with the people who are here. For all of us to feel a state of peace, for all of us to remember our breath, for all of us to know that we can find a still center, and then go back to that other place and just do the same thing. Rattle it all out, get it out, have my catharsis right here in front of you, and then go back and then do it again and get still and be in a state of peace and not actually tell you anything about what the talk is about. Just do that. I think you'd get it. That's the point. Like, this is the human condition that we're talking about. And there are just times when I don't freak out anymore. Every once in a while I do. I freak in. I freak in. My brain gets whirring around at such a pace that I cannot freaking focus on my everyday existence. And there are no excuses because I don't have a 40-hour-a-week job or an ailing parent anymore or a child who's homeless in Honolulu as a heroin addict to be concerned about. I have every measure of being able to like drop in. I can't figure out why I want to run, but I want to run. I want out. I want out of my house. I want out of this relationship. I want out of this church. I want out of this state. I want out. I want to go out somewhere. I want to go to India. I want to go be in a Mercedes Range Rover thing that has all the things you can live in, self-contained, and go be underneath the star. I would be freaking terrified. I hate it out in the dark all by myself. I hate it. I really love people. I really love every single one of you. I really love this church, this box, this place, this resonance. I love this life here in Duluth. I love Darlene Watson. I love every single one of you. I love what you've brought me. I love what we've shared. And from my most micro place and my most macro awareness, I feel like I need to leave. I don't know why, but I feel like I need to leave. And what I can't figure out is whether I really do, or I'm just scared to really be here and really show up. Can you guys relate? What is that? What is that? I mean, I'm not asking a rhetorical question. What is that? So I need you. I need you. Just to be with me. I don't need you to come over. I don't need you to talk. I don't need you to call me. I don't need you to do anything with me. I need you to be. I need you to be in your own lives, in your own bodies, in your own minds, in your own emotions. I need you to be connected to the wholeness of your existence on this planet. I believe that's what we all need. I believe that's what we need. I believe that we all need us to show up, to be. not to do, not to be in the churn, not to, like, I don't know, you all know this. You've all had your own illumined moments of this awareness and this reality.
I think our world is in so much chaos that we can't help but get in the midst, and the hell is that we don't know what to do about it, because it's like everybody that's above us, they're churning it. They've got all the freaking chaos going, and we're trying to decide where do I fit in this, and what the hell can I do to change it? And maybe we should just all quit watching the news, but if you don't watch the news, then you are kind of out on a limb, and it's like, if I don't watch, then where does my responsibility lie?
Yes.
Some people say just love, but it's got to be more than, because even as sitting here and just sending out love is not answering my question.
Yes.
I am sick. I'm just sick at just what is going on. There's so much chaos, and it's like I'm on that narrow little board trying to walk across the chasm, and for Christ's sake, you see all the cracks.
Yeah.
So you're freaking,
Yep.
Speaking of that, I saw a little video of it was a golden retriever, and she was on the other side of the kitchen, and the person had put every bottle in every kind of direction, and that darn dog went through it without knocking a thing down, and I was thinking as I was watching it, holy shit, what, it's, what are we doing? We're knocking them all down, and that dumb dog is so smart. She knows how to do it, and so who do we learn this from? It's
Right.
not something we were ever taught, because our parents are kids, because they knew they'd never be able to live through this. I'm 83, I'm gonna be 84, and I'm being, I'm expected to live through it.
Yeah.
And we're scared for ourselves and our kids and our freaking world.
Yeah. Yes.
It's just a mess.
Yeah. Yeah.
Everybody's scrambling.
Yeah.
Our world is scrambling.
Yeah. Jasmine.
First one I want to talk, period. So I think that maybe the most powerful thing we can do is live our lives every day not ignoring what is going on around us in the world, but in spite of what is going on around us in the world, not being unaware that there's a war in Ukraine. But I think that by living our lives in the way that we choose, as physical beings who understand that we actually are spiritual beings, having chosen to be here now, living our daily lives in confidence that we know what we're doing, that we know why we're here, that bringing that kind of powerful energy with us every day when we face the world is perhaps the most helpful thing that we can do, because we are not giving into fear, we are not giving into rage. We're buying groceries, we're adopting kittens, we're doing the things that make us feel good, and by extension, that energy reaches out in the world. And whether we know it or not, helps everyone to feel better. And that's what I think I'm doing.
Well, I'm thinking right now the irony or the synchronicity, really, that at 12:30 we're going to have the New Earth group, the study group meeting. And what the news about New Earth says is we trust. We trust that the spiritual world is still intact. We're not here alone. There's a process going on, and it was predicted to be hard, and it turns out it's even harder. It's even more chaotic, but we're called the strongest of the strong. Every soul here on earth now had to be ahead of the line, chosen to be the head of the line, because so many souls wanted to be here now. Because the amount of spiritual growth we're partaking in, receiving, is unfathomable. And so we are trusting the process while we breathe, while we adopt kittens, while we are aware of Ukraine, and simultaneously, for me, I'm not listening to the news, but I'm listening to a ton of the spiritual news and the news that has context, that includes Ukraine, but is not only about Ukraine, because that's what our mainstream media is going to do. It's just going to focus on individual items and not give us context, and certainly not give us context that includes the spiritual underpinnings of what's going on and what's being said by many, many, many. Steve knows far more about this than me in terms of the vast number of channels that are all telling us the same thing. And it's such good news. But yes, Jean, holy shit, right on. It's hard. And what is the watchword of this time? We're in it together. So what we need is community where we talk about stuff, and community where we share the news, and where we, myself, I put it right on myself, find the ways in my listening, in my heart and in my life, my 3D senses, where can I give someone a little hope? And say, in some way, say, there's another part of the story that we're not hearing, and that I happen to choose to believe. And some people will want to hear that, and some people won't. That's okay. But I'll be doing my part to give the possibility of hope and of understanding. Understanding with a capital U. This is my last piece. Many years ago, early 90s, when I'm studying regeneration, our amazing leader at that time was a researcher beyond. And he said, there are endorphins, or there is something that fires off almost equivalent to an orgasm when we have that light bulb moment of understanding. We are wired for understanding. So we need context, and we also need to hear some of the other news. And that's how I'm coping with it. And I am not listening to the mainstream news. I'm getting enough news flashes here and there from friends, but I'm not tuning into that only one vibration anymore. I stopped this summer. But I'm not without news. You see what I mean, Jean? Yeah. And that's what we're sharing, a lot of links and so forth. So it's a long-winded answer, but I feel that trust is our word, and together.
Yes, as you say, as we trust that, as we trust it, because we are from the universe. I've been out there now, number of times, And Reverend Hutchinson came to me a month ago while I was in church here, and it was like the V that can't even be talked about, the V of the energy of light and love and peace and joy that we've always been. And we get to come here to share that with each other. We share the energy of the universe of light and love and peace and joy. And that's what we've always been. But how do we do that? By sharing the moments we have. This moment, with every one of us, we are a moment of light, of love, of peace and joy. We are always have been that, and we can share that with each other. We can share that with each other. This is how we are always, forever. With you, I love you. I love you. I love you.
I love you, Jerry. I love you so much. And I love your love and your heart and the transmission you bring. I'm going to wrap this up. Apparently, today was a day that we understood the true nature of time, and that is that it's only a person-made construct and it has no relevance to the movement of spirit. By virtue of the fact that you are reading these words and considering these concepts, you surely have emerged from a history of these kinds of trials. And you have reached a place in your journey where virtually everything you once held sacred, like the nature of time and that people have to work and that money matters, just a few little things, has been scrutinized for relevance and aborted. That is the plateau that must be reached before the real ascent can begin. So what we're experiencing, I think, is now like the vestiges of the ego crushing. When you succeeded in stripping yourself of everything that supported the monumental piece of fiction you masterminded and called reality, you became ready to begin to grasp a concept of reality and your place within it that is unquestionable. Now you have embarked upon a life direction in which your inner sensing determines what is and is not so. So my watchword right now is discernment. And what is unreal and what is real. And the power of the consensus understanding of what is real and what is unreal is known to be irrelevant, comma, if it cannot be verified by how it feels to you. I have been asking what's real for a long time in my life. And it's not fixed by design. It's malleable, as are we as humans. And wow, does everybody know Finlandia, the song Finlandia? Do we know it well enough? No offense, Carol. Do you think that we could do it a cappella? Do you think we could? We need the words. It's 206. Take a look at the words and tell me what you think. Either that or play really, really softly, because what I care to do is, if there's a chance we can make these words real. I love Carol Condrath. She always changes the pronoun from the he to the she when it comes to God. So however it is, if there is any pronoun, male, female, creator, however it is, we could read it. 206, I'm going to find it. Okay, I'm going to start it then. This is my song. Oh, this is a prayer. This is my song, O God of all the nations, a song of peace for lands afar and mine. This is my home, the country where my heart is. Here are my hopes, my dreams, my holy shrine. But other hearts in other lands are beating with hopes and dreams as true and high as mine. My country's skies are bluer than the ocean, and sunlight beams on clover leaf and pine. But other lands have sunlight too and clover, and skies are everywhere as blue as mine. Oh, hear my song, thou God of all the nations, a song of peace for their land and for mine. This is my prayer, O Lord of all earth's kingdoms. Thy kingdom come, on earth thy will be done. Let Christ be lifted up till all shall serve him, her. And hearts united learn to live as one. Oh, hear my prayer, thou God of all the nations. Myself I give thee. Let thy will be done. Amen. Thank you. I believe Jasmine and Sue are grabbing the baskets. No? Someone is to take our offering, and we thank you for all of the donations that you make available to our wonderful little box on the hill.
They're taking the offering. You can, that's fine. Divine love through us blesses and multiplies all that we are, all that we have, all that we give, and all that we receive. And I am grateful that this is so. And we've already read our hymn, so I ask you to join me in our church affirmation. We totally accept the belief that God is in charge of the affairs and direction of Lake Superior Interfaith Community Church. We know that as our thoughts of trust and joyful anticipation join in harmony with the thoughts of all the members of this fellowship, we attract the right ministerial leadership to our spiritual community, and we are grateful. And now we can make our circle. And if you have a blessing, fine, otherwise.
I'll do a little blessing.
Huh?
I'll do a little blessing.
Okay. And I have something that I want to share as well, so that's fine.